This is the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. Round 2 of the ACC Women's Tournament from Greensboro is in the books. We're looking forward to quarterfinal Friday, but before we do, we have one matchup to focus in on specifically. It is Georgia Tech, which beat Virginia by 1. It will advance to take on the number 2 seed, the Duke Blue Devils. But this team at the beginning of the season, much different than it is now. We take you back to last season. Chelsea Gray injured in this game against Wake Forest. But she fought her way all the way back from this knee injury to participate in a Duke uniform this year, but then against Boston College, it's another season-ending injury for Chelsea Gray. So she becomes a spectator watching her teammates progress through the season. And then Alexis Jones, within the last 2 weeks in this game against Notre Dame, she goes down with a season-ending injury as well. So both Jones and Gray out of the lineup for Duke. How will Duke respond without those two in the lineup? We check in with Mike and Debbie.
Well, first of all, Tom, that was just horrible. Horrible for both of those young ladies because, first of all, Chelsea Gray had worked so hard to get back, and Alexis Jones was playing so well. But like Tom said, now what do? I mean, how does Duke go on without those two?
Well, they've had a few games to try to make some adjustments, but Coach McCauley has been saying this is a new team, and in some ways it is a new team. They still have 7 high school All-Americans on their roster. They still have plenty of talent, but because they're missing 2 principal pieces now, I don't think there's any pressure on Duke at all. I think the pressure is completely off. I think they come in here. I think they have a lot of pride. There's no question about that. But I think they come in here and they play. Tricia Liston takes over the point guard responsibility. She's been playing some point the last couple of years. Their athleticism changes. Their creativity has to rise. They've got to come up with new ways, and they're certainly capable, and I'm sure they'll come in here and they will be ready to play.
Well, when they played in the regular season, Duke won 64-47. In that game, Ty Marshall had 18 points and 16 rebounds. They're going to have a big performance out of her tomorrow as Georgia Tech.
Well, they need her to play well, but they also need Kayla Davis to have a big game. The two of them combined for 54 of their 77 today. They combined to go 21 for 42. I'll take that any night. If they shoot like that, that is a lot for Duke to defend. And Duke is not a multiple defensive team anymore. They like to play that matchup because of what their personnel allows. So it's going to be really interesting. Georgia Tech is going to press. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Duke to have to handle 94 feet, and that's where you're going to miss Gray and Jones the most.
Here's our bracket for tomorrow. And again, the first game is at noon. This is on Friday. State Syracuse, then Notre Dame, Florida State. There's that Duke-Georgia Tech game, the first game of the night session, and we'll follow it up with Maryland and North Carolina. Let's send it back now to Tom Werme.
Mike, thank you. So on Friday, the top 4 seeds will finally see action. They will hit the court here in Greensboro for their first taste of the 2014 ACC Women's Tournament, who will continue on the road to a title here in Greensboro. Well, this is the ACC Digital Network, brought to you by Ruby Tuesday. Coverage on your regional sports network begins tomorrow at noon with NC State and Syracuse.